managing communication. Communication is the manager job. What is communication? Communication is the process by which information is exchanged and understood by two or more people, usually with the intent to motivate or influence behavior. The communication process. First, the senders encode the idea by selecting symbol with which to compose a message. The message in the tangible formulation of the idea that is sent to the receiver. The message is sent through a channel which is the communication carrier. The, the receiver decodes the symbol to interpret the meaning of the message. Finally, feedback occurs when the receiver responds to the sender communication with a return message.
Communication channel. The first is channel width hierarchy. Channel richness is the amount of information that can be broadcast during a communication period. Instant messaging (IM) allows users to see who is connected to the network and share short message or document with them instantly. Second is choosing the appropriate channel. It's important for a manager to understand that each communication channel can be an effective means of communication.
Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Indah Dewi Rahayu, my student ID 027. I will continue presentation from my friends. Now, for the first, I will talk about communicating to persuade and influence others. Communication is not just for conveying information, but also to persuade and influence people. And the term communication apprehension describes this avoidance behavior and is defined as an individual's level of fear or anxiety associated with either real or anticipate communication. With training and practice, managers can over their communication apprehension and become more effective communicators. Susan Betts, author of Discover Your CEO Brain, said influence is not really a skill. Although it requires skill, influence is who you are and how you are perceived by others. It is vital to be skilled at communicating in an influential way to understand how others think, how to connect with them, and how to persuade them. And the second, I will talk about gender difference in communication. Managers should work hard to set any innate or rigid opinions about a person's communication style so this belief don't hinder understanding or adversely affect personal decisions such as hiring or promoting. One difference managers encounter frequently relates to gender. How does gender affect communication style? For most women, although certainly not all, talking means conversation and is primarily a language for of report, a way to use their unique conversational style to show involvement, connection, and participants, such as by seeking similarities and matching experience with others. They tend to interrupt less than men do and work hard to keep a conversation going. For most men, on the other hand, talk is primarily a means to preserve independence and negotiate and maintain Status is a hierarchy. So, the next men tend to use verbal language to exhibit knowledge and skill, such as by telling stories, joking, or passing on information. Because women typically seek to build rapport, they are inclined to downplay their expertise and accomplishment rather than display them. Men, on the other hand, tend to value their position at center stage, enjoy demonstrating their knowledge, and more easily take credit for their accomplishment. When managers understand this gender difference, they can make an extra effort to encourage women to take credit when it is deserved. Women and men also display difference in body language. Women tend to use more submissive gestures when communicating with men, using less body space, palling in their body, tilting their heads while talking or listening, patting their hands in their laps more often, and lowering their eyes. Men tend to stare more, point more, take up more space, keep their heads straight, sit, sit in a more outstretched position, and use large, more sweeping gestures, grasping the different communication style of men and women may help manager.
Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Angelia. My ID number 034. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication refers to messages sent through human action and behavior rather than through words. Managers are warned, and their behavior, appearance, actions, and attitudes are symbols of what they value and expect of others. The main function of non-verbal communication is to transmit the meaning through reinforcement in contrast to verbal communication and rebel verbal symbols. Non-verbal communication is also used to influence others and regulate the flow of conversation. Listening. Listening involves the skill of perceiving both facts and feelings to interpret a message screen meaning. Only then can the manager provide the appropriate response. Listening requires attention, energy, and skill. The ways that can be done to become active and effective listener include the following. 1. Helpful concentration. 2. Capture important messages are the core of the convention. 3. Record things that are feel important. Thank you.
For the opportunity, my name is Alicia Abdardianti. My student ID is code 38. Here I will explain about what is organization communications. Organization with communication is typically divided into three directions. The first direction is formal communication channel. Second is team communication channels, and the third is personal communication channels. And here I will explain more detail what is the formal communication channel and what is the types of formal communication channel. But first, I will explain what is formal communications. Formal communications are channels that are flow in the chain of command or task responsibilities determined by the organizations. And for your informations, electronics like email and instant messaging like WhatsApp are made easier than before for all informations to flow in the all directions. And next, what are the three types of formal communications? There are three types of formal communication channels. The first type is downward communications. This communication is the most familiar and obvious flow in the formal communication, and this this communication is message from top management down to subordinates. For example, like managers can communicate downward to his employees in the organizations, like in speech, email, and other. And these downward communications are usually covers 5 topics. The first topic is implementations of goals and strategies. The next is job instruction and rationale. The next is procedures and practices. The next is performance feedback, and the last is indoctrinations. The second type is upward communications. Upward communications is message that transmitted from lower level to the highest level in the hierarchy of organizations. For example, like employee can communicate upward to his managers or supervisor and other that have higher level to him. Upward communication usually covers these five topics. The first topic is problems and expectations, and the next is suggestions for improvement, and the next is performance report. The next is the grievance and dispute, and the last is financial and accounting informations. And the last type is horizontal communications. Horizontal communications is refers to the exchange of message or informations between peers or co-workers. And horizontal communications usually covers these 3 topics. These 3 topics is interdepartmental problem solving, the next is interdepartmental coordinations, and the last is change initiatives and improvement. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. My name is Anissa Septiana and my student ID number is 2018-210048. I would like to explain to you about the team communication channel and then personal communication channel, and the last is developing personal communication network. Okay, for the first, I would like to explain about the team communication channel. A special type of horizontal communication is in communicating in teams. Research into team communication has focused on 2 characteristics. There are centralized network and the second is decentralized network. In centralized network, team member must communicate through one individual to solve problem or make decision. But in a decentralized network, individual can communicate freely with other team members. So, member process information equally among themselves until all agree on a decision. In laboratory experiment, centralized communication network achieve faster solution for simple problem. So member could simply pass relevant information to a central person for a decision. But in decentralized communication were slower for simple problem because information was passed among individuals until someone finally put the pieces together and solved the problem. And second, I would like to explain about the personal communication channel. Personal communication channel exists outside the formally authorized channel. This informal communication coexists with formal channels, but may skip hierarchical levels, cutting across vertical chains of command to connect virtually anyone in the organization. And the last is developing personal communication network. The acquisition and cultivation of personal relationships that cross departmental, hierarchical, and even organizational boundaries. The value of personal network for manager is the people who have more contact have greater influence in the organization and get more accomplished. Okay, here a few tips for one expert networker for building a personal communication network. Okay, for the first is build it before you need it. For smart manager, don't wait until they need something to start building a network of personal relationship by then. it's too late. Instead, they slow genuine interest in other and develop honest connection. For the second is never eat lunch alone. People who excel at the networking make an effort to be visible and connect with as many people as possible. Master networkers keep their social as well as a business conference and event calendars full. 3 is make it win-win. Successful networking isn't just about getting what you want. It's also making sure other people in the networking get what they want. And the last is focus on diversity. The broader your base of contacts, the broader your range of influence. Build connection with people from as many different areas of interest as possible and both within and outside the organization. Okay, must us know from personal experience that who you know sometimes count for more than what you know. By cultivating a broad network of contact managers can significantly extend their influence and accomplish greater results. Thank you. For the second is never eat lunch alone. People who excel at the networking make an effort to be visible and connect with as many people as possible. Master networkers keep their social as well as a business conference and event calendars full. 3 is make it win-win. Successful networking isn't just about getting what you want. It's also making sure other people in the networking get what they want. And the last is focus on diversity. The broader your base of contacts, the broader your range of influence. Build connection with people from as many different areas of interest as possible and both within and outside the organization. Okay, must us know from personal experience that who you know sometimes count for more than what you know. By cultivating a broad network of contact managers can significantly extend their influence and accomplish greater results. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Madania Zulkarnain and my ID number is 054. In here, I want to tell you about the great event and the written communication. First, the great event or gossip. The great event is informal communication, person to person, which is invaluable tool for managers to control their employees. Gossip usually struggle along a grapevine. Majority, the grapevine tends to be more active during periods of change, excitement, anxiety, and sagging economic conditions. Smart managers understand the company's grapevine. If a leader has his ear to ground, gossip can be a way for him to get a sense of what his employees are thinking or feeling, says Mitch Kusi, an organizational consultant, psychologist, and professor at Antioch University. Managers need to manage communication effectively so that the grapevine is not only source of information. Thank you. The second is written communication. Writing is both a marker of high skill, high quality, professional work, and gatekeeper with clear equity implication, says Bob Kirei, president of New School University in New York and chair of the National Commission on Writing. Managers can improve their writing skills by first, respect the reader, second, know your point and get to it, third, write clearly rather than impressively, and the last is get a second opinion. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Devi Susanti. Now, I will explain about innovation in organizational communication. The first, dialogue. Dialogue is a group communication process aimed at creating a culture based on collaboration, fluidity, trust, and commitment shared to goals. The purpose of the dialogue is to provide perceptions. Perception is communication that is used with the aim on convincing and influencing others. In business communication, perception is mostly done on things that exist in business negotiation. Dialogue is revolve feelings, explore assumptions, suspend conviction, build common ground. Results of dialogue is long-term innovative solution, united group, share meaning, transformed mindset. And then the second is crisis communication. Crisis communication is the process of dialogue between the company and the community which carried out with the aim of improving the crisis that was engulfing the company. The communication strategies and conversation used by crisis resolution organizations can improve post-crisis image and success. Crises are like an effective communication are the best way those them. The slower the response, the faster the crisis grows, fueled and misinformation, rumors, and views. From and thoughtful communication can confusion and replace it with confidence in the organization leaders. Managers can develop four primary skills for communication in crisis. 1. Maintain your focus. Good crisis communication don't allow themselves to be overwhelmed by the situation. 2. Be visible. Many managers underestimate just how important their presence is during a crisis. Face-to-face communication with employees is crucial for letting people know that managers care about them and what they're going through. 3. Get the awful truth out. Effective managers gather as much information as they can, do their best to determine the fact, and tell the truth to employees and the public is soon as possible. Getting the truth to employees and the public as soon as possible. 4. Communicate a vision for the future. Moments of crisis present opportunities for managers to communicate a vision of a better future and unite people toward common goals. Communicate a vision for the future. Moments of crisis present opportunities for managers to communicate a vision of a better future and unite people toward common goals. The communication approach is neat because through this process the problem is more effective and faster to solve. 1. Crisis team formation. 2. Determination of types of information on communication. 3. Media center activation. 4. Press conference. 5. Distance strategies. 6. Suffering strategies. Thank you. Prompt and thoughtful communication can confusion and replace it with confidence in the organization leaders. Managers can develop four primary skills for communication in crisis. 1. Maintain your focus. Good crisis communication don't allow themselves to be overwhelmed by the situation. 2. Be visible. Many managers underestimate just how important their presence is during a crisis. Face-to-face communication with employees cru- is crucial for letting people know that managers care about them and what they're going through. 3. Get the awful truth out. Effective managers gather as much information as they can, do their best to determine the facts, and tell the truth to employees and the public is soon as possible. Getting the truth to employees and the public as soon as possible. 4. Communicate a vision for the future. Moments of crisis present opportunities for managers to communicate a vision of a better future and unite people toward common goals. Communicate a vision for the future. Moments of crisis present opportunities for managers to communicate a vision of a better future and unite people toward common goals. The communication approach is neat because through this process the problem is more effective and faster to solve. 1. Crisis team formation. 2. Determination of types of information on communication. 3. Media center activation. 4. Press conference. 5. Distance strategies. 6. Suffering strategies. Thank you.
Here, I will talk about two topics. Let's start with the first topic. The first topic is about feedback and learning. Feedback occurs when managers use evaluation and communication to help individual and the organization learn and improve. It enables managers to determine whether they have been successful in communicating with others. Let's move to the second topic. The second topic is about climate of trust and openness. Perhaps the most important thing manager can do to enhance organization communication is to create a climate of trust and openness. Open communication and dialogue can encourage people to communicate honestly with one another. Subordinates will feel free to transmit negative as well as positive message without fear of retribution. So, I think that's all for me, and thank you for your attention. See you! Successful managers focus their feedback to help develop the capability of subordinates, and they encourage critical feedback from the employees. When manager analyze the whole organization and reviewing the outcome of activity, they can quickly learn what works and what doesn't, and they use that information to improve the organization.